Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to What is Avidya, Kaam, Karma, Swami Anubhavananda. So I was kind of looking up to see, because I remember Avidya, but it was actually from a video from Swami Sarvapriyananda. So let's hear what Swami Anubhavananda has to say. Hopefully I said his name right. Anubhavananda. So Avidya, Kaam, and Karma. Let's go ahead and give this video a shot.
What are Hridaya Granthi? We have studied it number of times. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi, Chidyante Sarva Samshayaha, Kshiyante Chasya Karmani, Tasmin Drishte Paravare. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. Granthi or a knot is a knot which is not. And yet it is pretty naughty. Change the spellings properly in the right place for every knot. See? And such a knot is the knot of a necktie. Now, those of you who are putting necktie, you know, the necktie knot is such that when the neck is in the loop, then it ties. But if there is no neck in the loop, you pull the two ends and it opens. So it appears it is a knot, but it is not. It is only the belt only. That's it. Exactly the same way. Take another thing. In some place, they were asking me, Swami, we are not able to understand the Hridaya Granthi. What it is, we can't understand it. We know Avidya, Kama, Karma is Hridaya Granthi, but even then it doesn't click. So we are not able to get it, what exactly it means. I said, all right. This happened somewhere in one of the camps. So I said, now you let us play and understand this. So about a dozen we sat around. And then one person, I said, you take this handkerchief and run behind and put it behind somebody. And if he knows it, he can pick up and beat you. So when it was done 2-3 times, they were relaxed totally. Hridaya Granthi, the knot on the head of the removed. They relaxed. Then I said, okay, understood, one game. Now second game. Now take this hanky and hit this man. He took the handkerchief and hit. Then I asked him, hey, did you get any hurt? No. I thought he was, fanning me. I said, now take the same hanky, the other end, diagonally, make a knot to that. Yes. And now hit. Is it hitting? Yes. Why? Because this is a knot. I say, what is a knot? Knot is that which is not. See? So, Hridaya Granthi, that means, it doesn't mean there is something. Then the cloth was entangled in itself. So, entangled cloth is not. K-N-O-T. Exactly the same way. Hridaya Granthi is entanglement of what? Avidya, Kama, Karma. Incompleteness in knowledge leading to the desires and fructifying in the karma. So there is nothing, it is the same pure consciousness expressing through the limitations, therefore incomplete knowledge.
I'm going to rewind it, only because I'm amazed, a little bit amazed here. Fructifying. That's the same thing that Swami Taramananda has used, and one of his videos I reacted to some time ago. It's a word I've never heard before, honestly. Fructifying. I believe it's similar to what Swami Taramananda said, and it's a word that, like I said, I've never heard before. Doesn't mean I would assume that it's not a very common word, but then for them to use it, both of them to use it, I don't know. It's is this word like in a book that they both read, and that's why they use it? To me, that's very odd. One, just because I haven't heard it doesn't mean it's like, oh, it doesn't exist. No, it's just like, it's usually people know common words. obviously. If it's a very common word, it means most people know it. Fructifying is, I thought it was kind of like a made up word, but you kind of understand what it means. Like, it's a word that exists, but you add something to it that's another thing, and you combine these two words that doesn't actually exist. Kind of like fructiblend. You kind of understand that means fruit being blended. You know, the fruit and blend words combined. It doesn't roll off smooth as fructifying though, but you get the idea. Fructifying, maybe like squeezing the juice out of the fruit or something like that, or extracting something, using something. You know, depending on the context of the words before it. But I just found that interesting that so far these two swamis have used a specific word that's very uncommon. Anyways.
To the desires and fructifying in the karma. So there is
So like producing, like you're doing something like squeezing a fruit, and when you squeeze the fruit, the outcome is the juice, fructifying.
nothing, it is the same pure consciousness expressing through the limitations, therefore incomplete knowledge, and this incomplete knowledge leads to the desires, and the desires lead to a karma. So where is what? So if this incompleteness is knowledge is removed, ajnanam, how it can be removed? By only understanding. See? I am body is not the issue. Only this body I am is the issue. On what ground we say only this body I am, other bodies I am not? No logic, no nothing. See how simple it is. This incompleteness in knowledge is, now you start reflection, incompleteness in knowledge is what? I am body is not an issue. But only this body I am, that becomes an issue. Similarly, reflection in the mirror is not an issue for a man. But reflection in the mirror is an issue for the animal. Now what is the issue? Reflection is not the issue. Taking the reflection to be real and thereby fighting with that is the issue. In the same manner, one consciousness expressing through every body, through the process of body identification, and then this body identification is common for all the beings. But when we take only this body I am and not the other body, ajnanam. See, avidya, kama karma.
Okay, from what I understood there was the fact that it's kind of interesting. I did watch a few YouTube videos about animals looking at the reflection. There are some animals that knows that is a reflection of themselves, and they also did the same studies with children. I forget what the age was. I think around 4 years old, somewhere around there, is when a child would know that that's a reflection as opposed to a different child. How do they know like a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old or a 6-month-old knows that? I have no idea. But maybe two, yes, maybe one, but like 6-month-old, how? So anyway, so the sheer fact that when we see when the reflection is the false us, it's only a problem whenever we see the reflections as our true selves. Essentially, the reflection is this body. Even though he says there's no problem, it says I am the body, but it's whenever you don't see everyone else as the body, which is kind of I guess for me, a little bit of a problem. And what I mean by this is that, I have no proof that I am these other people. I have, at the moment, no doubt that I am this person. Now, you could, do the Matrix thing. This could be a computer simulation or whatever it may be. Even in those things, this is the only thing I'm ever aware of at any given time. Even I'm not completely aware of everything in my body. There's germs and bacteria doing their own thing, and yes. But so I guess the idea here is the sheer fact that the only problem is when you only identify as this body and this body alone, which to me not necessarily a problem, but I get what he's trying to say, because in terms of Advaita Vedanta there is only Brahman. And to think that there's a separation there is definitely not Advaita Vedantin. Hopefully I said it right, because there is only one, and for me, it's not a problem just because I have no proof, I have no evidence of it. I'm not going to struggle to sit there. It's like, am I that person? Am I this cup? Whenever for me personally, if you're struggling and being frustrated or being depressed or sad about something, then clearly you're not working your way towards enlightenment. Whether I am everyone or everyone's me, or there is just Brahman or there is not just Brahman, it's not necessarily my goal. If I so happen to become enlightened, then it just so happens to happen. I'll accept it. I'm not going to try to fight it. Um, but it's just to acknowledge what I do know. Acknowledge that I don't know everything. Acknowledge that what I do know may not be the truth, may not be real. But I will live it as I know it until I don't know it, or until what I know change. I'm not going to fight the truth, or not fight in a sense, my senses, because that's the only way I can gather data, gather information. I'm not going to sit here and be frustrated that I can't see infrared light, or, the different colored wavelengths of light. I'm not going to sit there and say, man, if I could only see the other color wavelength, I could know the truth. It's like, no, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to struggle. I'm not going to be, PO'd. I'm not going to be upset that I can't see that. I can, maybe I'm living a false reality, but if I am happy and blissed out living in this false reality, I will accept that. Because, again, I do believe in terms, at least for me, contentment is very much the goal. And then if you happen to get enlightenment with that, then that is fantastic. But I do believe going towards a area of contentment is the path to enlightenment, I think. I don't think there's a path to enlightenment where you're struggling and sad and depressed. I don't know. I don't know all the paths. I just assume it's fairly pleasant to get to the path of enlightenment. It can be difficult, absolutely, but I don't think it's necessarily a struggle. If it's a struggle, you might be doing something wrong. It could be a struggle, though. I don't know. Again, I'm not enlightened, so I have no idea what that path looks like.
My friends, therefore, there are two ways. Like we have seen earlier, either I am everything or I am nothing. See? Like my leg never say I am a leg. My hands never say I am a hand. My nose doesn't say I am a nose. My back doesn't say I am a back. But when I refer to with the legs, I say, hey, my leg is hurting, yaar. So there I had taken the leg as mine. Leg never said, I belong to you. We say. So this I who is owning the leg is the same I who is owning the hand. So this I is everywhere. Or I is nowhere, because when the hand is owned by I, the leg is disowned. Think. Vichinna grantaya sarve. This we have to understand distinctly and clearly. We have to do it, nobody can do it for us. See, my dear friends, try it again and again and again and again. See, avidya, therefore, is what? Any knowledge which is gained through the limitations of the sense organs, mind and intellect, and taking that knowledge to be the ultimate real one, this phenomena is called avidya or ajnanam.
There we go. Okay, Avidya. Taking, I guess, your six senses as factual. I guess for me, that's the only thing I can really trust. Because if I were to get that information from someone else, they could be lying. And again, your senses could be lying. Well, I don't think your senses could be necessarily lying to you. I don't think your senses will ever lie to you. It's just that, like if for example you see something and you're like, is that a square? You get close. Oh no, it's a triangle. That's not because your senses is lying to you. It's just because your senses are not good enough. You're getting blind or something. Too far away maybe, or Yeah, too far away, or it's very hot, or whatever it may be. Your senses will never lie to you. Now, if you feel like an itch on your arm, you like, or you feel something twitching in your arm, it could be just because your veins are twitching, and you look at it, it's like, oh, there's nothing there, but why was it twitching? It might have been twitching at the moment, but your hair may be untangled. But I don't believe necessarily that your senses are lying. But let me know. um, if there is a way to disprove that for me, because I would say, like, if you start seeing things with your eyes, like, oh, you see something over there, your eyes are not lying. It's your brain throwing chemicals, thinking you're seeing something over there when it's not there. So that's a bit of a difference. Like, hallucinations aren't necessarily lies. I mean, even though it's not true, it's not necessarily lies either. It's like a false reality. Could you say it's a lie? Kinda, but it's not like your eyes are like saying, we got to show them that there's a bug over there. So your eyes are not like intentionally trying to show you false things. Your eyes can only do what your eyes do, and if other things can interfere with it, guess what, they're going to interfere with your vision. But again, there's your eyes have no intent of doing bad or good. It's just they show what they show, and if something interferes with it, it interferes with it. So that's what I mean, I guess. So that your senses don't lie to you, as in they have no intent to lie. They just only can do what they can do. And if it's deception that they see, then they clearly see deception, but you just don't interpret it as deception. Kind of like if you see a fake house, you look at it, it's like, oh man, the house looks good, and you get up close to it, it's just a board and wood behind it and nothing else. You're like, oh man, I thought that was a real house. Your eyes hasn't intended to deceive you, but the facade of the building has. I hope that's decently clear. I mean, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean you should trust your senses 100%, but that's the reason why you analyze and think about things and use other senses to help verify that, and have other people to verify as well. I guess, so what else do we have, really?
See, knowledge is never absent. Avidya or ajnanam is not absence of knowledge. Avidya, na vidyate. It is not that it doesn't exist, it exists. Existence cannot be absent. Therefore, chinna, grantaya, sarve. Now this is the first thing, granthi, avidya or ajnanam. Now whenever there is a sense of incompleteness, that sense of incompleteness creates agitations. Agitations in what? In the conditioned consciousness. In pure consciousness, when agitations, the world is created without any desires. But when in the conditioned consciousness, when the agitations are created, they are desires. And the mind is born. So consciousness with the desires is mind. Mind minus desire is consciousness. The handkerchief with the entanglement is a knot, and the hanky without the knot is a cloth. See, they are not two. Chinna grantaya sarve. And when there is a pressure of desire, it will immediately express through action, karma. So avidya, kama, karma, these three factors are the hridaya granthi. See, friends. Therefore, if we want to get out of it, where from we have to start? First of all, withdraw from too much of activities. Karma, 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 enough of it. Now, to the extent the karma is reduced, to that extent, the desires will be also reduced. See? And then what happens later? The desire to do meditation still persists. Even that desire also must go. The desire for liberation also must go. Desire for liberation is confession that I am not liberated. What will you do with liberation? You are not going to get anything. Therefore, chant this mantra and contemplate on this. Nothing to gain, nothing to lose. You don't require this pranayam, and this meditation, that meditation. So when nothing to gain, nothing to lose is the Maha Mantra, you will remain naturally quiet, relaxed under all conditions.
Okay. So, Avidya, at least as far as I understand, he did say Avidya karma, but there's commas there, so it doesn't seem. It seems like there are three individual things. Our karma is action. Avidya is apparently, at least as far as I understand from here, believing in your senses as absolute truth. Now I say believe in your senses, but not necessarily an absolute truth. um, because obviously we trust our senses, otherwise we wouldn't be able to function in the world. We trust that when we are looking at something that we are actually seeing it. Just because there's one false things that you see, for example, if you're colorblind and you say, "Oh, that's red," it's like, "No, that's actually green." Like, "No, it's red in my eyes," and you say, "Hey, is that red or is that green?" I say, "Oh, that's green." Oh, just because you have one falsity doesn't make it all of a sudden you say, "Well, can't trust my eyes completely." It's like, no, you can trust your eyes most of the time. There's going to be some flaws to the things, but you just don't discount it just because it makes one or two mistakes. I don't know why I thought of stubbing my toe as trying to be an example of one, but yes, that table is there. I get it. I felt it. I didn't see it. But, again, our senses is made in Maya, so we have to trust our senses in Maya itself. It's reliable in there because it was created in there and it functions in there and it functions as it's supposed to. Obviously, if it's as long as it's functioning. Now, if you are blind or whatever, lack a sense of touch or whatever it may be, sense of taste or maybe particular taste, then something that you should definitely know about, especially colorblind, taste maybe, feel definitely. Because losing your sense of feel, you could be in a lot of danger and just not know it. I remember thinking when I was young, it's like, man, I wish I didn't feel pain. But then you realize that feeling pain is what keeps you alive. So, anyways, yes, trust your senses. Don't trust it absolutely, but it does. It mostly tells you the truth. It's your senses have no intent of telling you falsities. Only other objects do. Only other things do. Um, but yes, I think that's what I understood so far. He did repeat that same three words a few times in the video. Understand karma. Avidya, I think I understood that correctly. Let me know if I'm wrong. But Kaam, I don't know about that one. I heard him say it, but I don't know if he's explained it. I still struggle understanding him. So I'm getting a little bit better, but it's still this is a hard language for me to crack. So anyway, that's my reaction to what is Avidya, Kaam, Karma, Swami Anubhavananda. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vid.